Hello everyone, Steve here, back again with another tabletop baseball video. This is a further update from my 1972 Pirates replay. This particular replay was done with the Longball sim using some homebrew cards. I'm going to talk briefly here about Bill Mazeroski, who passed away within the past week or so. It's the beginning of March 2026. I happen to be in Arizona catching a couple of spring training games. I've never caught Cactus League games in the past. I have been over in Florida, of course. Yesterday we saw the White Sox at the Cubs Stadium. I believe it's Sloan Field is the name of the stadium. It was a nice event, given that it was Chicago versus Chicago. The place was packed. I had a seat down the left field line. Without further ado, we're going to talk about the replay. So before we talk about the replay, I will talk about Bill Mazeroski briefly. Most well known for his walk-off home run in the 1960 World Series. But also made the Hall of Fame and was arguably the best second baseman in the 1960s. Here's a sampling of some of his cards, either actual cards made by sellers or homebrew cards, which I have made or a friend of mine have made. In terms of the replay, the sim list hasn't changed, so we're not going to dwell on that. We're playing the Padres again in the most recent 3 games. You've seen this slide before if you've been following along. The Padres were not that good in 1972. I have a bunch of links here that I'll put in the description. Most of them are about Longball, including at the top the Longball Facebook page. There are tons of free materials in the Longball Facebook page, so check that out. And then at the bottom here, there's a video on Bill Mazeroski, and it might be worth watching if you're a true skeptic of his abilities, or you're not familiar with his abilities. Now, the video was recorded by a fanboy, so take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, feel free to like this video. Feel free to comment on it. You can subscribe if you want. We're verging on 1,000 subscribers, which is quite amazing. The feedback I get is appreciated, and I enjoy the exchange of ideas. Okay, so with the replay, game 1, the Pirates won 3-2. Very low scoring game, obviously. Padres made a couple of errors, and I think one of them led to an unearned run. Steve Blass and Freddie Norman pitched complete games. Blass did give up 11 hits, but he did strike out 8, including at one point in the game 6 in a row, which I don't know that I've ever had happen in my limited experience in playing baseball sims. So that was kind of fun as it happened. Pirates lost game 2, 4-1, very similar to the original game, which the Pirates lost 4-0, I believe. Clay Kirby, pretty decent pitcher for the Padres, got the complete game win, and only gave up 1 run, obviously, and it was a home run by Richie Hebner. Hebner's been on a bit of a tear in this replay. As I mentioned before, you do have the Pirates playing a bit of a platoon system. So you have left-handers Davalillo, Oliver, Stargell, Hebner playing in the lineup. Of course, Stargell's a semi-regular, particularly in 1972. So yeah, Luke Walker took the loss. He didn't pitch badly, but he just got into some trouble over the course of the game giving up 11 hits. Game 3. So in Game 3 in the real life, it was won by the Padres 1-0. I think they scored a run in the top of the first, and there were only 5 hits given up in the game in real life. This game was not that. The Pirates in particular just came alive, and even though technically I don't think the batters were called the Lumber Company quite yet, I think that was more of a mid-70s characterization. They were the Lumber Company today. So in the heart of the lineup, Clemente, Stargell, Oliver, and Hebner each had 3 hits, and everybody but the pitcher got a hit. Pirates pounded out 19 hits, 3 home runs, Hebner again. And Bruce Keeson, he was a little rocky at the beginning, but he ended up with a complete game. I left him in for a few batters more than I normally would, using some of my fatigue and yank rules. But yeah, he gave up 5 runs. I don't think there were any errors in this game. There was at least one defense check. If there was an error, I didn't keep track of it here, at least not in the box score. Some of this information is accumulated manually. And the Padres used a lot of pitchers, and Steve Arlen, the starter, really got rocked. I probably should have pulled him earlier, to be honest, but I didn't. So that's the replay. This is a familiar table, perhaps, in terms of the replay. The only thing I will say, well, 2 things I'll say, is the cumulative record of the Pirates, 35-20, is identical to what the actual record was through 55 games. And then given the scoring of particularly the last game, some of the offensive statistics are catching up a little bit to the real life offense. Coming up next, I've got a 2-game series with the Dodgers. It'll be Status Pro Advanced. I don't think I'll do an update right after that series. But then I have Pine Tar for a 3-game series with the Cubs. I probably will do an update there so I can talk about Pine Tar. And then after that, there's Ballpark Baseball and the New York Mets. So Clemente's quest for 3,000 hits. He's still running behind. Don't read too much into this. 55 games or however many at-bats he has so far, 180 or something, is a small sample size. But with this last series, he did catch up a little bit because he had a good series. He played 2 of the 3 games, and in real life, he really didn't do that well in these last 3 games. So the 2 lines are getting ever so slightly closer to each other. So let's talk about Longball. I provided a lot of links, as I mentioned early on, and you can see them in the description. Longball is best described as a stratomatic plus apba mixed together. The strat attributes are a 50-50 engine, although with some exceptions. It uses 2 D8 dice, numbered 0 to 7, whereas strat uses 3 D6 dice plus a decider, or split die, I mean. Longball has no decider die, so strat has the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 decider to determine if the pitcher or batter a card will be used. Longball does not do that, and similar to strat basic, Longball has no left-right splits. Longball does use result boards, and just like apba, the results can vary by the on-base situation. Longball also has 4 pitcher grades. And then similar to appa, there's some auto steal result codes built into the Longball cards and boards. So in this series, I used a set of homebrew cards that are published on the Facebook page by a user that goes by the name of Tas. I've done a lot of emailing back and forth with this person, and over time we have converged in terms of how we do our homebrew cards. We're not identically the same in terms of what we do, but I think it's part of a function of coming at it from two perspectives, which I'll talk about for a minute. These sets that he produces are quite amazing. Essentially, every player is carded. He provides a nice summary of the season. He provides some pitcher hitting cards. A handful of cards are specific to the individual pitchers, and then there's some team-specific pitcher hitting cards. Yeah, he does a nice job in producing these card sets. This is what the cards look like in his set. They look very much like the original cards, although recent versions that he has created, he has replaced this injury section with an injury rating, and then has put some key statistics for the players on the cards. The cards are relatively small, about 2.5 by 3 1/8, but they're usable. I just played this series with these physical cards. He also provides team-specific error cards. For the most part, fielding in Longball is a team-based concept, and we already talked about the pitcher hitting cards. The one you see on the lower right is the Texas Rangers, and it's the pitcher hitting card that you would use for all the pitchers other than the ones that have their own specific pitcher hitting cards. So when I play Longball, I do roll the physical dice, but in terms of looking up the results, instead of having the result boards in front of me, I have my Excel spreadsheet up, and I'll type in the result, like number 41 here, and it will pop up the result explanation, and there's a row for each of the 4 grades. Only 4 and 3 are shown here, and then the 8 on-base situations are there, and then also there's a row if the infield is in. One thing, if you do play Longball, at the recommendation of Tas, results 41, 42, and 43, I have changed to a fielder's choice ground out instead of the ball being thrown to first and the runner on first going to second. And I think that's a good mod to incorporate. As I said, Longball does not have left-right splits. I homebrewed this left-right split mechanism here, which really involve result number 30 and 32 on the batter card and result number 60 on the pitcher card. This is heavily reliant on the fact that the results are somewhat consistently placed from batter to batter and pitcher to pitcher. This has not gotten a lot of play testing, I will say, and to be honest, I don't know if it works. And it's possible that it's too impactful, and if so, I've indicated down below one way that you could reduce the impact. I do think our friend Kurt has been using this, but the success of this remains to be seen. I have not been using it in my replay. And that's really it. Thanks for listening, and feedback always welcome, and stay tuned for an update a little further down the road. Thanks. Bye.